Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. We are having confessions and conversations about your everyday life. My name is Yamitra Jojo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? I promise there's no crying today. I cried yesterday. If you missed the show, go back and watch it. It was a good show. I went back and watched it and took notes yesterday. It was a good show. So go back and watch yesterday's show. I learned a lot yesterday. I'm just trying to share the page. So please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. If your friends and family do not have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel. They can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows over there. If they do not like YouTube or a Facebook, we do have a podcast. We're on Apple, we're on Android, wherever podcasts are listened to. You can find it there. It's called the Live Past Crazy Show. If they don't do any of that, I now have 5 books. 3 of them on Amazon. There they are back there. If you type in my name, I promise you will find it. And you can purchase all 3 books there. And the other 2 are, one is on pre-order and one you can purchase directly from me. Don't forget we have the Sister Rise Retreat coming in October. I want to give everything to y'all before we get started. The Sister Rise Retreat is coming in October the 16th through the 18th. That will be in Savannah. So please make sure you join me. I'm so happy the tickets are selling. I'm excited. And the ticket price will go up in August. So please make sure you check that out. Don't forget Sunday, y'all. Y'all know I always wanted to have a bookstore. So Sunday at 2 o'clock, we're going to be ready. But you need to sign up. There's the link to sign up so you can get into the private Facebook group so that you can purchase your books. And how you're going to purchase the books this time is you're simply going to pay for shipping. You're not going to pay for the book. You're only paying for shipping. And that's what we're going to do for the next 2 weeks. So just pay for the shipping of the book you want. But you got to be in there to see. All right, let's get started with the thought of the day. Please make sure you share the show. And if you share, can you please tag me so I'll know to thank you. And I really appreciate you taking the time to do that. If you don't tag me, I don't know that you share. And I would really like to do that if you take time to hang out with me this morning. So here's the thought of the day. Challenges are gifts that force us to search for a new center of gravity. Don't fight them. Just find a new way to stand. And that is by Oprah Winfrey. I like that. Challenges are gifts that force us to search for a new center of gravity. They mean that, to me, that means that forces me to think differently. And in my thinking differently, I'm able to stand. So challenges are gifts that force us to search for a new center of gravity. Don't fight them. Just find a new way to stand. And that is by Oprah Winfrey. Great morning, Miss Valerie. Excuse me. Y'all, I went to bed last night. Saturday night, I was up to 2 in the morning. Sunday night, I was up to 1. Last night, I went to bed. Your girl was tired, and I slept great. And apparently, I still need some more. So let's go right into the thought of the day. So the thought of the day today is strange bird. Strange bird. And I chose this topic because I want people to understand that when you start this journey, people may think that you are strange. They may not understand, the basics of things, and that's okay. So you can be a strange bird. And it's kind of going to go with yesterday's show. If y'all missed yesterday's show, please go back and watch it. It was really good. excuse the ugly crying that I did on the show yesterday. Like, I know I did some ugly crying, and it's okay. I learned some things yesterday, and one of the quotes was, when you stay who you are, where you stay where you are, you're disrupting who you're meant to be. You staying where you are is disrupting who you're meant to be. And I got my whole life with my quote yesterday. So this kind of go hand in hand. So today we're talking about being a strange bird. So I have some questions. Y'all know I always got questions because I always ask myself these questions. So when you begin, so it's a process to being a strange bird. And I am totally convinced that this is the reason why we are the way we are. And good, hey, Miss Andrea. I'm convinced this is why we are the way we are, right? You always want to grow and do something different. You've always known you've been different. Like, I knew JoJo was different in about 7th grade. Well, I kind of knew it, but I knew it for sure by 7th grade. I wasn't nerd enough for the nerds. I played sports and I wasn't sportsy enough for them. So I was kind of in between. And so I had a strange group of friends. And my friends ranged from different things, but they all fit me. And I wasn't willing to understand that because I didn't want to be a strange bird. So a lot of us, when we begin to grow, when we start on this journey, right, we don't want to be seen as strange, looked at as strange. So we don't even start to think differently because we don't want people to think that we are whatever word they want to put in there, right? So when you begin to grow, just know your life is going to be forever changed. When you begin to grow, you're going to start thinking differently. You will start to see the benefit of what you're growing, of what you're thinking differently. Grow, the more you will change, and the more it's going to develop over the years. So I'm 16 years on this journey. I did not think like this. Without your dreams and vision, in the Bible, if you're a God's girl, it says you will perish. What does that mean? Without dreams and vision, you will perish. So that made me think about and look at my life. Like, if we're not dreaming and hoping and working towards a thing, what is my life equating to? What does that equal? So if the word says that you will perish means what in what terms? Does it mean I'm always complaining about where I am? Does it mean I don't do anything? Does it mean I don't experience life? That all my excuses are valid and they're absolutely the reason why I cannot move? So without your dreams and your vision, you perish. What does that mean for you? All right, and we talked about that. What day was that? Wednesday, Thursday? Last week? Who hid your hopes and your dreams? And what is the more that you're afraid to ask for and look for? Who hid your hopes and your dreams? So when you grow and become a strange bird, and I call it a strange because I think I'm a strange bird. I'm not the same JoJo that I was 6 months ago. Who would have thought year before last, that I would have a tattoo, I would have a nose ring, I would want to, and I have absolutely dyed my hair blue, and totally disappointed because it didn't turn out blue, but nobody told me I needed to lighten my hair for it to be blue first. I didn't know that. So, thank you, Belle. I had to wait for it to come up before my video got stuck. And so I'm not the same person that I was then. You have nothing that holds who you are. So without dreams and vision, we perish. So if I have nothing that grounds me, that guides and directs me, what am I doing with this life? And some will say, well, he doesn't mean dreams, that if you don't have dreams and visions, you will perish. But if you don't ask yourself who took your dreams and hid them from you, or if you don't ask yourself why are you afraid to ask that question, if you don't go seek and find, then what is happening here? It's that simple. I want to keep it real simple. I'm just asking questions. So if you're a strange bird, right, you don't want to challenge anybody's concept of you, right? You don't want to challenge anybody's concept of you. Like, you want everybody to think of you this way. You want everybody to think of JoJo this way. You want everybody to look at you and see you this way. But when you start to grow, that's absolutely going to change. When you begin to grow, your life is forever changed. Nothing is going to stay the same, because now you're going to realize that journey to whatever it is that you're going to is going to require a change from you. And then you change every day. And then you begin to reap the benefit of you having a changed mind. And the more you grow, the more you will change over the years. So here's some questions. This is what other people will do and say. And I'm a firm believer this is the reason why you will never be a strange bird. Or you will never admit that you're a strange bird, right? You'll be strange in private. Like, the real you will never come on the outside. It will always be at your house. So if people are at your house, they look at you like, you don't act like this normally. But if you're going to change, you got to be big and bold enough to change in all areas, in all places, and let it be seen. And that's hard work to do, to want to change. Remember that inner struggle? That's hard work, to deal with the inner pain and live with the struggle on the outside. When you could just deal with it, figure out why you are the way you are and what you want to do about it. And it's okay to want something different than your friend, your mama, your sister, your community. That's okay. So here's what people would do. And I got 5 things, and I'm convinced this is why you are not looking at your dreams and your vision, right? So other people will do these things. They'll talk about how you've grown. This is what they're going to do on your growth process. Please understand, when you start to grow, even though you're growing on the inside, it's eventually going to show on the outside. And then people are going to start to pay attention. They're going to talk about how you've grown. They're going to talk about what you're growing. Like that JoJo, she always saying something crazy. She always doing something strange. And then they're going to talk about when you should reap a harvest. Like, you've been talking about changing, JoJo, but I ain't seen nothing. I ain't seen this. When are you going to reap the harvest of the change that you said that you was doing? Then they're going to say, I wonder when she did that. Now, how did she do that? And then they're going to be surprised that you did it. They're going to talk about how you grew it. They're going to talk about what you're growing. They're going to talk about and give their opinion on when you should harvest what you're growing. They're going to wonder how you did it. How did it grow to this? And then they're going to be surprised that you did it. Please apply that to every aspect of your life, whether it's in your career, if it's in your relationships, your friendships, if it's in yourself. So when I started this journey and started to really take, what I want to say, mindset, my growth, what I was thinking seriously. And when I've really been, y'all really need to practice this. We talked about this last week, to give your breath and your words direction, and so that they don't just fall flat out of your face and you trip over yourself. I have been practicing that since I said it last week. When I tell you, things have just been happening and amazing, where every morning I say, I give my breath and my words direction to do this. It has been amazing. You should try that. So when I began on this journey 16 years ago, my thought process, I didn't understand it myself because I didn't know where I was going. And the more I started to change my mind here, which is your superpower, right? And the more I allowed my mind to think, and the more I allowed myself to be free of everybody else's opinion but my own, because I wanted people to see JoJo as a certain way. And I was challenging how JoJo saw JoJo, let alone how somebody else was seeing me. So I was kind of torn between 2 things. I was challenging what I saw as me, and I was changing what was on the outside. And people are like, well, what are you doing? And I can't quite explain it because it's still growing on the inside. Remember we talked about planting? Remember that was in Mayflowers. And we talked about how you have to repot because you are root bound where you are. And so when you take the plant out of the old container, My mama said you got to spray it with water it down a little bit, and then massage the roots to let the roots know that they can grow. Then you put it in the new pot. That was where I was at. I knew I was growing. I knew I was stretching on the inside, but I could not articulate it to anyone on the outside. And because I could not articulate it, then they began to ask these questions. But what you growing? But what you changing? If you say you changing this, why we ain't seen change by now? Well, when do you have time to do it? Like, you're a single mother, 2 kids. When do you have time to go to get a master's degree? When do you, because your family is 400 miles away and you don't know anybody in the city that you're in. How are you going to go to school? Who going to take care of your kids? How are you going to work when you're only making $12 an hour? You need every drop of your money. How are you going to do that? I could not articulate that myself because I was still growing myself. I just knew that in my hopes and my dreams, right, that it was going to happen. I couldn't articulate it because I was still in a growing process. And when you're still in a growing process, it's hard to say these things or say them in a way that people are going to understand. So that's why they will begin to ask the questions. And if we're honest with ourselves, maybe we do not begin the growth process because we don't want to answer those questions. We don't want to answer those questions because we're uncomfortable with even asking ourselves the answer to them, let alone explaining it. So you mean I got to sit down and talk to my mom about how I'm growing when? No, you don't. But she's for darn sure going to ask you a question. And you have to be okay with, Mom, trying to figure it out myself. I finally got okay with saying it. When my family would ask me questions, I was like, look, I'm trying to figure this out for myself. All I know is that I have to go. I can't go. I can't not be here. Absolutely. Growth absolutely happens in the dark. And if we are seeds, right? And if you are a flower, you watering of yourself means you investing in you and not being ashamed that you're going to do that. Some of us are made to feel shame or bad because we want to invest in ourselves. And you investing in you may look like I need a weekend or a week to myself. I don't need no kids. I don't need no man. I don't need mom and them. I just need some time for myself so I can figure out me. Because here's the difficult part. You have all these raging questions inside of you. And you have no answer for them. And you don't have time to go seek them out because life is happening instantaneously. And because you have all of this going on, you just sit down. And you say, you know what? All I can do right now, JoJo, because it's so overwhelming and it's so much. All I can do right now is just whatever is before me, I've got to work that thing. I can't think about what I need to grow. I can't think about my mindset. There's just too much. I've been there and done that. And my friend, I will tell you that is the perfect and most absolute time for you to take that time. Because what will happen if you choose not to is that it will bubble up. It will ooze out of your ears and you will be like me. I found myself lashing out at everybody. Like you could say the simplest of things and I was on 10,000 instantaneously. And when that did not give me the release, because you're seeking a release. You're seeking a release of all the thoughts and questions you have here. And your body is you ain't happy with your body. I had gained weight. My health was poor. I had all these I had all these questions in my head that I didn't know the answer to. Here I am, a single parent. I got 2 kids. I'm trying to go to school. I'm working a job I hate that ain't paying me no money. My house is okay, but it could be better. And I still have that's just me dealing with this. And then there's outside things that you have to deal with. It was insane. I was crazy. And guess where it landed me twice? Twice it landed me in the hospital in isolation. But the doctor said, well, you don't have cancer. You don't have any diseases. There's nothing medically wrong with you, Miss Waddell. Your body is shutting down because it's tired and it's exhausted. Like your liver is not working. Your kidneys, they're not working. It's because whatever is going on in life, it stressed you out to the point where your body is exhausted. And I know I talked about that. Maybe if you've been with the Phyllis Morning Show a while, you've heard this. You're living in one extreme or the other. And I was on the extreme of this side. And so my body was in a constant state of shock and stress. And so finally, it was like, I quit. I'm not doing this anymore. And then that's when my growth process got for real. See, I was doing bits and pieces, but as soon as somebody said, what you growing? What you thinking about? Well, why you want to do that? Well, that don't make no sense. I would stop because I was listening to other people. But when you get committed to the growth journey, and whatever this journey may look like for you, whether it's financial freedom, whether it's mental freedom, whether it's freedom of your physical location, of relationships, whatever it looks like for you, whatever step you decide to take, because we're celebrating day one, not 1 days, because today is your day one. Tomorrow will be day 2 of day one. We're celebrating all day ones. And eventually this is what's going to happen. I promise you it will. When you get good and deep in this, and you learn to articulate how you're growing, if you so choose, that at this point you will not care. You are growing. And you got to realize that in the beginning, it bothers you that no one respects your growth. It's going to bother you that they don't understand it. It's going to bother you that they are not as excited about your growth as you are. And that's okay. But as the further along you get, you realize you don't care because you're growing and you don't mind being the strange bird. You don't mind being the person where they say, you know, that JoJo, she kind of strange. Yes, I am. Thank you. Okay. But in the beginning, it's difficult for us to comprehend that our life is going to be different, because when you start to grow, as Miss Valerie said, growth happens in dark. When you start your growth process, whatever it may be for you, you're here with it. First, it's in your mind, so it's you can't even show it to anyone. It's how you think. It is you reading a book or thinking differently. It's you replacing a TV show with something else that may feed your mind. It is you being mindful of the conversation you have. Maybe it's you being mindful of the friends you talk to. Maybe it's you being mindful of the time you spend doing this. And so they can't see that you're growing. You don't quite understand it yourself because you're learning it. And it's okay not to be able to articulate it in the beginning. And I just think that some of us, because I've been here, when I say some of us, I'm absolutely talking about JoJo. It was hard in the beginning because I just knew I needed to change, but I couldn't quite put it into words how and what it was going to look like in the end. And the more I stayed true to my growth process, and the more you do this, the more you're going to understand how you grow. The more you're going to understand how to feed yourself, what kind of sun you need, what kind of water you need, what kind of inspiration. You're going to learn so many things about yourself that eventually it doesn't matter. When people come to you with questions like, JoJo, how you doing this? They don't talk about how you grown. You know, you've changed. And you've changed in this way. They're going to talk about what you're growing. And then they're going to talk about, well, if you've been working so hard on this, when you going to reap some of that? When you going to see the end result? Like I see you always saying you was up late. You was working, but you can't. And I know this is my family pet peeve to right now, to last night. JoJo, what you doing? Working. What you working on? I can't even tell you. Why? Because if I told you, you're not going to, it ain't that you're not going to understand, is you're not really interested in understanding. Because if I tell you, well, I'm sitting down and I'm doing this with the site and I'm looking at the analysis for this and I'm working on, you don't really care. Well, JoJo, you work too much. You need to take some time with them girls, and you need to take a break, and you work too much. And in the beginning, y'all, that used to piss me off so bad. Oh my God, that would make me so mad. I would get off the phone. I was like, okay, I gotta go. I'll talk to you later. And it would make me so mad because they didn't understand my drive, my growth process, and what I was working on. And it made me mad they didn't understand. But the second part of what made me mad is that I was not able to articulate that to them. And because I was not able to articulate it, it made me angry with myself because I was like, can they not see that I'm working and I'm growing this thing? Why don't they see that? Well, it's not their vision. It's not their dream. They're not the one growing this thing. You are. And so I had to, one, forgive myself for getting mad at me like that. It's not theirs to know. It's absolutely not theirs to know. And then two, not get mad at them because they're asking questions because they don't understand. They understand to the limit of their understanding, not yours. And so in the beginning, I would get angry. Now, here's this conversation. Last night, Jojo, what you doing? Working? What you working on? Just stuff, business stuff. You gonna work all night? Yep. I don't think you should. Hey, what you doing this evening? We're not having that conversation. I've learned now that I don't have to participate in it. I will redirect that conversation because one or two things are going to happen. They're not going to understand, and I'm going to get frustrated for them not understanding. So I eliminate the possibility altogether, and I redirect that conversation because they don't know how you've grown. They don't know what you're growing. They're going to talk about when you should reap the harvest of it if you do tell them. And then they're going to wonder how you did it. And then they're going to be surprised that you did it. Period. And you cannot be mad at them for articulating it in such a way that they understand. It may not be the way you understand. Like my family, they may not understand what it is that I do. They may not have a clue. But in the beginning, they absolutely challenged everything that I did. Like, why do you work all the time? Why are you always going here and doing this? Good morning, Miss Joe. And they challenged me every step of the way. And I had to realize that that was a challenge I did not have to accept. I didn't have to accept that challenge. I had to be true to me and grow in my way, on my path, the way I needed to grow. So I became a strange bird. That's the Phyllis thought today. Some of us, we are strange birds and we don't want to admit it. I'm different. Don't care who knows it. What song is that? Something About Me. Not the same. Yeah. What commercial is that? That's a commercial. And I had to be okay with being the strange bird in the family. And I want to encourage you today that if you're like me, and I didn't quite fit in. I didn't fit in high school. I didn't quite fit in college as an adult. And so I had to find my own lane and get comfortable with that. And then when I did that, the most amazing thing happened. All the stresses of me trying to figure out how I needed to adjust to different atmospheres, it went away. And I was comfortable being the strange bird. Period. Quote of the day: challenges are gifts that force us to search for a new center of gravity. Don't fight them, just find a new way to stand. And that's by Oprah Winfrey. Your challenges, which may be your growth process, it's going to force you to look at what you're seeing differently. It's going to force you to do that. And it's going to strengthen. The more you do it, the stronger you're going to be able to stand in it. The Phyllis thought of the day is you're a strange bird. Yeah, I think it was I don't know why I'm thinking Oscar Mayer or I don't know. I just remember that little jingle. Do y'all remember that? Without dreams and visions, you perish. What does that mean? And Miss Valerie, who is our resident Bible scholar, gave us the description. Perish is that script means, it means to cast off restraint. You have nothing that holds you. So if you don't have a dream or a vision, what is happening? What's going on in life? And when you begin to grow, your life is forever changed. You'll begin to grow and rethink and reap the harvest of a changed mindset. And the more you grow, the more you will change and develop over the years. Period. Other people will ask you questions. You got to be okay with them asking questions, even while you're trying to figure it out for yourself. And y'all, I said, I don't know. I'm just figuring this out. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out for myself. And what I had to do, I had to be mindful of the conversations that I had with my family, because they didn't understand. I didn't understand my journey. How was I going to explain it to somebody else? So I had to be, not in a bad way, but I had to be mindful of the conversations, like what I shared and what I did not share, because they couldn't understand. I couldn't articulate it. And so that was going to leave all of us frustrated. Like, they did not understand why I cashed in a 401k and moved 400 miles away. They didn't understand that. Could not understand that. They didn't understand all the moves that I made, or the things that I did, or yes, ma'am. They are. And if you are not, when you begin this journey, let me tell you what's going to happen. Until you are able to stand flat-footed, chest out, shoulders back, head up, chin up, to say, this is what I'm growing for myself. Your family is going to challenge you every step of the way. And it's not that they don't love you. They have loved you to their faith level. And you are now trying to love yourself to your faith level. And so there's a gap in between here. And it doesn't make them wrong or right. It simply means they have taken you as far as they can take you. It is now your responsibility. Your mama has given you the amazing foundation to take you as far as she can take you. Now you honor her by saying, Mom, I'm going to build on this foundation, but I'm going to have to grow more above and beyond. And some of us, we don't want to grow more above and beyond our parents, our current situation, our current neighborhood, our community. Oh, we could never leave here because, Mama and them live here. I could never go live there because ain't nobody there. Mama said you can't go off and live somewhere where you don't know nobody, because you need a family. You need a support system. Without dreams and visions, you perish. What does that mean for you? Are you perishing with their hopes and their dreams? Is it eating you alive because you're living someone else's? It's okay to want to be different than. Remember the quote, you're qualified to be exceptional. You're just nervous in front of your current community. It's okay. It's okay to be a strange bird. I'm the strangest bird in my family. Maybe not the only one, but I'm one of the strangest ones. Can't quite figure out now what it is that JoJo do. I don't know. I always see her doing something. And here comes the questions. They're going to talk about how you grown. They're going to talk about what you're growing. When you should. Well, she's been working on it for a long time, so she should be seeing some of this by now. Then they're going to wonder, now what did you do? And then they're going to be surprised that you did it. I'm in stage number 4. They're going to wonder, what did you do? They're going to wonder, what did you do? Like, you say you working, but what does that mean? Working on what? And they're going to say, but when did you have time? You work a full-time job. You got 2 kids. We 400 miles away. You depend on yourself. Like, when do you have time? And my question is, y'all, let's go back to last week, right? We talked about, when did you change your mind? Why did you change your mind? Why do you not have the time? And why are you not making the time? When did I have the time? When I stopped watching TV. So I want you to understand, I talk about this all the time, that your habits are still in your free will to think. Because you go to work and you work that, and you come home and you sit down and you cook and you eat. And by 7 or 8 o'clock, you're sitting in front of the TV to 10:30, 11. You're going to watch 7 o'clock news. You're going to go to bed and you're going to get up and do the same thing. So technically from 7 to 11, how many hours is that? Those are the hours that I use to do what I want to do. On the weekends, that is 24 hours a day. I use that to do what I want to do. And I had to understand that maybe it wasn't for me to explain it to them, because they can't understand. It doesn't make them wrong or right. It doesn't mean I love them any less and they love me any less. It's just that they can't comprehend. Remember the power of the question? They can't comprehend what you're doing, because they can't even fathom asking the question first. They can't even ask the question, like, Jojo, what do you mean you want to do that? Like, how do you even come up to think that? I don't know. It just came to me. It just came to me. Hey, to the men, Lola. Good morning, Lola. So what is the more that you're looking for that you're afraid to ask? Period. Are you afraid to ask because you don't want to be seen, be looked at as strange in your current community? Let me tell you something. If my daddy didn't know nothing else, he knew I was different than the rest of his children. Period. And he supported that and grew that the best way he knew how. And so he built a foundation in which I can say, hey, thanks. And from here, I can build more on. And you got to be okay with people not understanding. And the more you stay on that journey, you will realize that it doesn't matter to you anymore. The point is that you're growing. In the beginning, it will bother you. Yes, it will make you mad. Yes, it will make you angry. They're not going to understand why you want to start that business. They're not going to understand the frustration and the anger you have for working for other people. They're just not going to understand it. It's not for them. In the beginning, it's going to make you mad and angry. Like, why you don't want me to be great? Why you don't want... It's not that. It's just they can't comprehend to ask the question that you're asking. And that's okay. But the more I've been on this journey, 16 years, the more you grow, the more you realize that the important thing is that you're growing, that you're moving. So when you begin this journey, when you start to grow, your life is forever changed. Let's go back to that Mayflowers. When you planted yourself somewhere and you're ready to replant, and you come out of that old container, my mama said you got to moisten the roots, wet the roots a little bit, and massage them to let them know that they're free to grow. So today, I just want to remind you, you are free to grow. Your roots are stretching, and they are absolutely confined to your current situation. And maybe you're trying to insist on staying in that current situation because you don't want to be looked at as strange or different, because you want different than what everybody else around you is wanting. So everybody else around you may be okay with doing the things that they're doing, and you may not be. Challenges are gifts that force us to search for a new center of gravity. Don't fight them, just find a new way to think. That means that as you are challenging your thought process and yourself, right? You got to find a new way to handle that. It's not that you're strong, not strong, but you're strong enough to handle it. Remember, making a decision is not the hard part. It's dealing with the ramifications of the decision that's hard. So today you have the strength to make that decision, whatever it may be. You can be the strange bird, and it's okay. You can be that. Because let me tell you, I was so used to conform. Like, you couldn't have told me I would have had a nose ring and a tattoo by the time I was 44. Nope, not JoJo. No to the ma'am. Nope. I was not questioning anything. But then I had to learn to start asking questions. And without dreams and vision, you perish. What does that mean for you? So today, ask yourself that question. Without your dreams and your vision, you perish. What does that look like for you? And what does that mean for you? If right now you are afraid to look at your hopes and dreams, why? Remember the 5 whys that we ask ourselves. And why are you stopping there? Why do you insist? Have you been conditioned to think that you can't have? And I want you to give your words and your breath direction today. Give them some direction. And look at your dreams and your vision. And if you don't have that, what does perish mean to you? Look up the word and see if that definition applies to what you're doing or not doing. These are questions. You don't have to. I'm just saying these are questions I had to ask myself. So I figured I'd ask y'all. And hopefully it'll help you come up with some answers that you've been seeking, that you didn't know you needed to ask the question. And ta-da, here it is. It's okay to be a strange bird. Just know people will ask questions. They're going to talk about you, how you grown, what you're growing, when you should reap the harvest of it. And they're going to wonder how you did it. I'm in stage 4 and 5 and be surprised that you did it. Because here's the word in my family. Jojo, you going to make something out of yourself yet, ain't you? Now, how's you doing it, though? What is it that you're doing, baby? That's what I don't understand. What is it that you're doing? Now tell me, how did you do that? And I can't explain that because it was my growth process. It was my journey. This is your superpower. It started here first 16 years ago. And that's all I can tell you, is that it started with my mind first. And then once I answered my why questions, why won't I go? Why would I stop? Why did I stop here? When I asked all those questions, then the allowing of JoJo got easier. That means who I was meant to be. What's my quote from yesterday? Y'all love that quote from yesterday. You staying where you are is disrupting who you're supposed to be. When I got that for myself, and I couldn't even articulate it then, I just knew that I had to continue this growth process. The allowing of me got easy, so much easier. Who I was meant to be, then I was able to see it clearly. Then I had the vision. Then I understood the dream. Without dreams and visions, you perish. Please answer that question for yourself. What does that look like? And does it even apply to you? You may say, JoJo, you be doing the most. People have told me that. You just do the most. It don't take all of that. Okay. It doesn't. Hey, I'm just telling you some questions that I asked myself. Y'all remember I was saying how something make you go, I'm just telling you to ask yourself a question. And then, can you then apply it to what if you're the person that's hindering people in your family? So ask yourself, why am I hindering this person in my family? Is it because I don't understand what they want to do? Is that fair to you or to them? I had to realize that one. I learned that with my own child. When my daughter, and I knew she didn't want to go to school. But I wasn't letting up. You going. Your mama went to school. You going to school. You getting an education. And when she came home that second year, she was like, I'm not going back. I said, what? She said, I'm not going back to school. I went because you wanted me to, and I've done all I can do. I'm not going back. Feelings hurt. Heartbroken. It wasn't my dream nor my vision. Her growth process ain't mine. Her journey is absolutely not mine. I gave her a year. I said, you know what? You can have a year off. Okay. Maybe she'll change her mind. That child did not miss school 1 iota. Then I said, oh, so second year come around. I said, all right, court. She's like, I'm not going back to school. Okay, so I gifted her a business. So for those that don't know, I have a hair care line called Bury Your Hair. I gifted her the business. When I tell you that child has grown that hair business astronomically, that she could live very well on her own and not need any part of her mama. And that's why she's on vacation for the next 3 months. Without me, living her whole best life. Her vision and her dream, it wasn't mine. And I couldn't force mine on her. And I had to give her that space. So I had to look to see, was I the one hindering her from her growth process and where she needed to go? And some of us are there. Are we hindering the people in our lives from where they need to be because of our mindset? Because I'm a nerd. I'm always going to think, look, we need deep in PhD over here. Why wouldn't I think you about to go to school? To me, that was the only option, but it wasn't her option. And I had to be okay with that. And I would have never gotten there had I not went on my own journey myself to understand how I was growing and how I couldn't even articulate it to my friends and my family. I couldn't articulate it to them, so it wasn't for them to understand. And so I had to apply that to my kid. Now she is doing amazing. She may call me, or if she's here, she may ask my opinion about the business. I'll give her my opinion, but she makes all the decisions. And she was like, you know what? Thank you, because I could never, now that I understand this, I could never work with somebody else. But she had to figure that journey out for herself. And then I couldn't, and what I was mindful of was not asking her questions like, what are you doing now? That doesn't make any, I had to be mindful of my words because I wanted my words and my breath to have direction. And so if I am directing them at her, I want her to receive them in such a way that she has room to grow, not for my words to stop her in her growth process. Be mindful that your words can stop people in their growth process because they value your opinion so much. Mothers, we are so powerful. We have no idea how we can change our children's lives. Period. By the look we give them, by the words that, just by the simple things. So on this wonderful day, I hope this has helped somebody. Challenges are gifts that force us to search for a new center of gravity. Don't fight them, just find a new way to stand. And that is by Oprah Winfrey. And the fearless thought of the day is a strange verb. Be okay with being strange. Be okay with not understanding your growth process for yourself. Be okay with not being able to articulate that and growing anyway. Just because you can't articulate and you can't quite put your finger on it doesn't mean you stop. We're in the invisible stretch of the road. That means where you know you're going in the right direction, but you can't quite see the answers yet. You keep going anyway. Yes, ma'am. You got to leave them that safe space to grow. And that is the purpose of the Fearless Morning Show. This is your safe space to grow and think just for a minute. And you can say, you know what, that JoJo crazy. I'll take that. I absolutely. And you can say, well, JoJo told me to think this, I'll take that too. I just want you to have the opportunity just for a second, just for a minute. I dare you to think something different. Just for the few minutes we together or we not together. Write it down, think about it. And that's all I want you to do is think about it. And if it causes another thought, that's because you deep down needed that moment to allow yourself to have that thought. See, right now you may not even be some of us, we won't even allow ourselves to dream and think because we got too much going on. I've been there. I've been so deep and crazy. Y'all know the story. Between that rock and that hard place where I couldn't stop working. But if I didn't stop working, everything, I was going to go crazy. I got kids. I got bills. I can't afford a day off. I'm making $12 an hour. How am I going to do this? How am I going to school? I don't know. Inch by inch, girl. Inch by inch. Moment by moment. Because at that point, there was no thinking a day ahead, honey. I was doing second by second. Minute by minute. And then we made it happen. And that is okay. You don't have to explain your growth process. It is internal here. Give yourself some grace. Forgive yourself. Give yourself some peace, boo. You deserve it. You've been there. You've done all the things and you have absolutely survived. And you're still beating yourself up about what happened. Honey, can we give ourselves some grace about that? Absolutely, Miss Valerie. Can we grant ourselves some grace? This is what baffles my mind. We pray, Lord, help me. Lord Jesus, I need this. And we're asking for things, and the simple step of all the things that we ask for is for us to forgive ourselves first. Because when you ask of things, sometimes, y'all know the Bible verse, and Miss Valerie, resident scholar, we ask for things, but when we ask amiss. And for me, that means I may be asking for something. Like, Lord, bless me with $1 million. I'm asking for a thing that I don't believe in. And so because I don't believe in it, it will never come. And so my prayer is always the same thing. That's why you can always go back to an old miracle that you have when you're entitled to a miracle every single day. Every day you are the miracle. Every morning you wake up, you are it. Ta-da! The answer that you're seeking. Here it is. You're it. 2 hands, 2 feet. You're it. But our prayer is the same because we don't believe that we can have it. So first it is an attitude change and a mindset change that you absolutely deserve it. It is yours to give. And I need you to exercise your rights as a king's kid. If you believe in God and he is the king, right? Then we live in his kingdom. Then the responsibility of the king is to take care of the people in the kingdom. And you have certain rights living in the kingdom and being a kid's kid. I need you to exercise those rights. Now, if you choose not to, that is of your own doing, not of the king's. The king gives you everything that you could possibly want. You not going to get it is you. Not because he didn't provide it. Not because you asked, but did you ask believing that you could? That's the question. Didn't mean talk about that, but there it is. Without your dreams and your vision, you will perish. What does that look like for you? So on this wonderful Tuesday, I hope this has helped somebody. Please make sure you share the show, because sharing is caring. The more you grow, the more you will change every day. And the more the growth process is going to require more of you. Go back and watch yesterday's show. Please ignore me crying. But I learned some great lessons. Hopefully they will help somebody. Let me tell you, the people are destroyed lack of knowledge. And in the Bible, and I'm an Old Testament girl. I love the Old Testament. So there's a part in the Old Testament that says, maybe it's the New Testament, it says, you're working for why do you work for something that doesn't satisfy your soul? When I read that, I said, what are you saying? Why do you work for something that doesn't satisfy your soul? Without dreams and vision, you perish. And you're working for something that does not satisfy your soul. And it says you have the knowledge of the thing, but you don't apply what it said. So I'm working for something that don't satisfy my soul. I have the knowledge of it, but I don't apply it. And I am not reaping any harvest other than I'm perishing because of my dreams and visions I don't have. Does that make sense to anybody but me? Because I'm just saying. That makes perfect sense. You got what you going to do about it, though. You need to exercise those rights. Why do you work for something that does not satisfy your soul? Why? And let me tell you, last week, woo, honey, was a rough week for JoJo. And that verse, why am I working for something that does not satisfy my soul, had me up all night long. Why are you doing this and it doesn't satisfy your soul? So that's why I came with those why questions. Why though? And like I tell you guys, did you die? You didn't die, so okay, we on this side of the living, so that clearly there's more for you to do, right? 2, but did you try though? So you're working for something that doesn't satisfy your soul, but you're insisting on not working for something that does. What sense does that make, JoJo? And this is how I talk to myself. But let me tell you, I work that thing. I've gotten so much better at it now that I can see the challenge or the thought process that's about to hinder me, and I can work my way through it quickly. And y'all know the power of now is that when I do it right now, I take away every opportunity of me saying no to me. When I do it now, I take away every opportunity of me saying no to me. That's how the bookstore is happening Sunday, June 28th at 2 p.m. Y'all, my birthday Monday. I'll be 45. But when I said I wanted on a bookstore, I was making it so complicated. The power of now said, JoJo, take away you saying no to you. And me saying no to me was I don't have a store. I don't have the books. I don't have, the lady gifted me with a house full of books. So I got the books, but I don't have nowhere to put them. Who said you needed a place to put them? Do you not buy books from Amazon every day? Oh, yeah. Take away the opportunity for you to say no to you, boo. So, on this wonderful day, I want you to have an amazing day. I thank you so much for hanging out with me for the Fearless Morning Show. It is absolutely my pleasure and my honor and to be here to share some of the things that I worked through so that you don't have to. I want you absolutely to learn from my example. I don't want you to be like JoJo in that aspect. I don't want you to live in crazy. I don't want that for you. No, ma'am. I want so much better for you. So today, I want you to give your words and your breath direction. So this is how I do it in the mornings before I get up, before I open my eyes, when I'm aware, but I ain't awake, you know. And I say, this day, this is what I've been doing since maybe Wednesday. This day, I give my words and my breath direction to speak before my ego speaks. This day, I give my breath and my words direction, and whatever my intention is for that day, that's where I direct my words. The Bible, didn't the Bible say life and death is here? Doesn't it say command your morning? It didn't say that? It did say that. And so you got to give it direction. If your words have no direction, they will fall flat in front of you and you will trip over yourself. And you will find that you're in the same situation over and over and over again, not knowing why. It's because your words had no direction. Give them somewhere to go. Give them something to do. Today, I give my breath and my words direction to do this. I give my words and my breath direction to accomplish this. And then all you have to do is simply move out of the way. You've already given them the direction to go and do. They need no further help from you. So as you begin to grow, it's okay to be a strange bird. Ask yourself this question: without dreams and vision, you perish. And what does that mean for you? What does it look like for you? And when you begin to grow, your life is forever changed. You will begin to grow and rethink and reap the harvest of your changed mindset. And the more you grow, the more you will change and develop over the years. And these are the questions people are going to ask you. And be okay with that, okay? They're going to talk about how you've grown, what you're growing, when you should reap the harvest of it. They're going to wonder how you did it. And then they're going to be surprised that you did it. And that's okay. Yes to the man. Come on, Miss Carrie. You got to give them direction. And whatever. If you said, I don't know how to give them direction. I just gave you some examples. You don't have to use mine. Practice it every day. I started this Tuesday, Wednesday. It has been amazing what has happened. Doesn't the Bible say the word ain't going to come back to you void? Ain't that what that means? Ain't that what it says? So if I honor the divine in me and understand that he gave me life and death in my word, so I'm honoring him by giving life to me, this household, right? Then if he lives in me and he gives me my direction and then I direct the words that he gave me, because he lives in me, his words can't come back void, meaning they have to accomplish the thing that you gave them to go do. So here's some nerd science. It's every time you say a thing or you have a thought, like, I think I'm going to be a millionaire. Your brain takes a picture of it and it sets out to achieve that thing. You need to align that with the words. I will be the first millionaire in my family. Watch me. There's no doubt in my mind that I will be. There, period. Because there's nothing after that. Period. And then when you ask for the thing, I want you to believe that you can have it. If you've been conditioned to think that you cannot, today you are free from all of that on this here day. Just for the day, just for a second, think that you're absolutely qualified to be exceptional. You can do all the things. Give them words direction today. Today, I give my breath and my words direction to do what? See, I think sometimes we make it so complicated when it is so very simple, but yet we make it so hard when it doesn't have to be. It's extremely simple. It said believe. It said ask, believe, receive. That's about as easy as you can get, dog. We add everything else. I don't know, Lord Jesus. And here you come. You want to lay on the altar. You want to fall out. You want to be deep fried in the holy oil. You require all that extra. He did not. He did not. Nope. He said, why do you work for something that doesn't satisfy your soul? Okay. Then he said in Isaiah, he said, if you make mistakes, it's okay. Because y'all know I had trouble. I was like, Lord, I've been divorced so many times. Isaiah said, the Lord thy God is your husband. You were a wife of your youth, so I hid myself for a little while. That's okay. He said, but I came back and never again when you know that. And your foundations are made of rubies. And if you take the sides off your tent, then I can enlarge it. He gave you clear instructions. We add the extra. The instructions are clear. They're extremely simple. Starts here. You have what you say. What you see right now is the result of what you thought last week, last month, last year. If you thought that you wanted to be poor, if you thought I ain't ever going to get a better job, you never did. Now, did you? If you thought my kids are bad, what are your kids? If you said I ain't ever going to lose this weight, did you? If you said I ain't ever going to grow my hair because it just won't, did it? Look at what your words gave you. You have what you say. Give them some direction to go. Today, I give my breath and my direction to help me lose weight, release weight. Today, I give my breath and my words direction for this thing. Period, Miss Carrie. Be peaceful, period. Ain't nothing after that. Ain't nothing after that. Nothing. Y'all, I gotta go. We've been together for a long time this morning. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. The bookstore, Sunday. Please make sure you sign up for that. Here it is again. Read fearlessly. The retreat is coming up in October. Please, the tickets are going up in August. bit.ly/Sister Rise. I got 11 tickets left. 10 tickets left. I'm only inviting 12 women. So please, we're going to be answering these questions, and we're going to be doing the work of it for real. We will be forever changed. It is not your normal retreat. It is not, we're coming and we're working on the mindset, period. That's what we're doing. We're going to understand, and RISE stands for Revitalizing Individual Sacred Energy. We're going to understand who we are, who the divine is, how it is, what it does inside of us, and how we're going to use that to begin to change the world, beginning with ourselves first. It ain't nothing like you ever been to, so don't come with an expectation, okay? I want you to come with an open mind, because it will absolutely be different than anything you've experienced. So if you have questions, you can always send me a question. You can go to that website and check it out for yourself. Invite your friend or your sister. It will be different. That I can promise you. So I hope you have an amazing day, guys. Please make sure you share the show, because sharing is caring. If your friends and family do not have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel. They can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows. They don't do that. We have podcasts. The Live Past Crazy Show. It's on your Apple. It's on your Android, wherever. We have 5 books. 6 is coming up. The first 2, Fearless Woman, Born to Give Thanks, Transition to Freedom. Well, all 3 are on Amazon. They are on Walmart.com. They're everywhere books are sold. The other 2 are up for pre-order. One is on mental health and one is on leadership. If you would like either one of them, please let me know, and I will send you the link to purchase those. But please make sure you share the show. I cannot do this by myself. I am my sister's keeper, and it's my hope that I can help one sister who will change her family, and as she changes her family, it will impact her community, and we will change the world, and it happens one sister and brother at a time. So if I have helped you, it is now your responsibility to go help another sister. And look how many sisters that you help along the way, that we begin to change this world. Let's not make it complicated. Let's keep it simple, okay? I want you to have an amazing day. I want you to be peaceful, period, because there's nothing after that. Please make sure you share the show, and I'll see you guys here bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a good one.